Stop for a second and feel this. You did not land here by accident, and if your chest has been heavy, if your thoughts keep circling back to one person no matter how hard you try to move on, then this message is for you right now. There are moments in life that feel strangely quiet on the outside while something huge is happening within you, and this is one of those moments. Somewhere deep inside, beneath the fear, beneath the doubt, beneath the tired voice that keeps asking if you made it all up, you already know there is something real here. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear may explain the feeling you could never fully put into words. This is not just about missing someone. It is not just about hoping. It is about that pull you cannot shake, that calm that appears for no reason, that sudden pain, that sudden warmth, that sense that a bond still exists even when nothing in the outer world seems clear. Listen closely. Do not skip this part. Because by the end of this, you may finally understand why this connection has stayed alive inside you, why their silence has never fully erased their presence, and why your heart keeps returning to the same truth even when your mind tries to run. If this message reaches you at the exact moment you needed it, that means something, and what comes next matters more than you think. You have felt it before. In the middle of an ordinary day, something shifts. Their name crosses your mind. A memory appears without warning. A wave moves through your body for no clear reason, and suddenly you feel as if they are near you even when they are far away. Then the questions begin again. Is this real? Or is it just longing? Is this love? Or just a habit of the heart? Have they gone cold? Or are they simply carrying something they do not know how to express? These questions have followed you for days, maybe for weeks, maybe longer than you want to admit. But here is what you need to hear. Not every deep feeling is confusion. Not every silence means the feeling is gone. And not every distance is rejection. Sometimes the strongest connections enter your life in a way that breaks your old understanding of love, because they were never meant to stay at the surface. They touch the hidden places. They wake up the old wounds. They force you to see what still hurts, what still fears loss, what still expects abandonment before love has a chance to breathe. That is why this connection has felt so intense. It did not arrive to entertain you. It arrived to move you. If you have tried to shut it down, deny it, block it, laugh it off, and still something inside you keeps returning to the same person, then pay attention. That returning is part of the message. And the truth you have been asking for may be much closer than you think. What makes this so hard is that your heart and your mind have not been speaking the same language. Your deeper self has felt something steady, something quiet, something that does not need to scream to be true. But your mind, shaped by past pain, has demanded evidence every hour, every day, every silence, every delayed reply. It wants proof now. It wants guarantees now. It wants control now. And when it does not get those things, it fills the empty space with fear. That fear is loud. It says if they cared, they would show it exactly the way you expect. It says if they are distant, the bond must be dying. It says if you cannot explain this connection clearly, then maybe it is not real at all. But your intuition does not speak like that. Your intuition is softer. It does not panic. It does not chase. It does not beg for signs every 5 minutes. It simply knows. Even under the noise, even under the chaos, it keeps whispering the same thing. There is something here. There is something unfinished. There is something deeper than appearances. This is why you have felt so torn. It is not because you are foolish. It is because two voices have been fighting inside you, the voice of fear and the voice of truth. Stay with this, because once you learn to tell those voices apart, the whole connection starts to look different, and the silence that once felt like punishment begins to reveal another meaning. A deep bond does not always begin with perfect words and clear timing. Very often, it begins with energy before language, with recognition before explanation, with a feeling that lands in your body before your mind can give it a name. You notice it in the way they look at you, then look away too quickly. You notice it in the message that sounds simple on the surface but carries something warmer underneath. You notice it in the air between you, in the strange weight of a pause, in the way even a quiet moment feels full. That is why this has stayed with you, because it did not feel flat. It did not feel ordinary. It did not feel like one more passing attraction. It touched something older inside you, something that felt known before it was fully spoken. And when something touches that level of you, old defenses rise fast. Suddenly you second-guess everything. Suddenly you wonder whether you are reading too much into small details. Suddenly you feel silly for feeling so much. But look carefully at the pattern. Each time you decide to shut your heart completely, something pulls you back toward the truth. Not obsession, not weakness, not pride. Something quieter and stronger. A thread, a pull, a living sense that the connection still exists whether or not the outer world has caught up to it. If this feels familiar, then do not turn away now. The next part matters. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that real love always appears first as certainty, when in fact it often appears first as transformation. This is why the connection has felt chaotic at times. Real love does not only comfort you, it also reveals you. It shows you the parts of yourself that still doubt your worth, still expect disappointment, still prepare for loss before joy even arrives. When someone enters your life carrying a feeling that reaches beyond the surface, it can shake your balance. Not because they came to harm you, but because they came near places inside you that have not fully healed. That is why your chest has felt tight. That is why sleep has been restless. That is why your thoughts have rushed from hope to fear and back again. You were not only feeling them, you were meeting yourself, and that meeting can be intense. The old pain starts speaking. It says, be careful. It says, not again. It says, if this matters, it could hurt. So the walls rise, the mind becomes suspicious, the heart becomes guarded. Yet even then, something sincere remains under the storm, a strange peace, a quiet pull, a truth that will not disappear. That calm beneath the confusion is important. Do not miss that. Because fear is sharp and noisy, but truth is steady. Fear makes you reach for your phone again and again. Fear makes every silence feel final. Fear drains you. But truth has another feeling. Truth waits. Truth breathes. Truth holds its center even when the outer story is unfinished. If you have felt both panic and peace in this connection, then you already know the difference, even if you have not trusted yourself enough to name it yet. There is also another side to this that you need to understand. The distance you feel from them may not be the absence of love. It may be the presence of fear on their side too. When two people affect each other deeply, both are stirred, not just one. You were shaken, yes, but they may have been shaken as well. Sometimes a person pulls back not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much and do not yet know how to hold it. They become quiet because the bond touches their own unhealed places. It wakes up their fear of not being enough, their fear of losing control, their fear of being seen too clearly. So they step back, they slow down, they hide what they feel behind silence, distance, or mixed signals. To the wounded mind, this looks like rejection, but very often it is self-protection. This does not mean every distant person is secretly in love. It means that in a connection, this deep distance can carry more than one meaning. That is why you must look at the energy, not only the surface behavior. Did their eyes soften around you? Did their presence feel different from others? Did small moments carry unusual weight? Did the bond keep speaking in silence long after the conversation ended? These things matter. And if you recognize this pattern, then listen carefully to what comes next, because this is the turning point. Chasing what feels distant only feeds the fear already active between you. The answer is not to force the bond. The answer is to return to your own center and let the energy change from within. When the heart feels distance, the first impulse is often to reach harder, explain more, fix more, prove more, hold tighter. But that energy usually creates the opposite result. The more pressure the connection carries, the less safe it feels. The more urgently you seek reassurance, the more the fear grows on both sides. This is why you have been pushed toward one difficult lesson. Let go without giving up on your own truth. That is not passivity, it is power. It means you stop making your peace depend on their next move. It means you stop treating their silence like a verdict on your worth. It means you come back to yourself not because the bond was false, but because only a whole heart can carry real love without turning it into panic. Read that again in your spirit. Only a whole heart can carry real love without turning it into panic. The pause between you may be doing sacred work. It may be clearing fear, breaking old patterns, teaching both of you how to stand without clinging. And when you shift this way, the energy changes, the pressure drops, the space softens. What once felt like a chase begins to become an invitation instead. This is where so many people miss the miracle because they keep trying to control the timing. But what is real often grows in silence first. So, breathe. Hold your ground. Do not run after what needs room to awaken. If this is speaking directly to your situation, stay until the end, because the signs you have been doubting are about to make more sense. One of the clearest signs that this bond is not imaginary is the way life keeps echoing it back to you. Not in giant dramatic ways all the time, but in subtle, repeating, undeniable moments. A song appears at the exact second your mind drifts toward them. A scent brings them back so strongly it feels physical. A color, a place, an object, a phrase, a time on the clock, and there they are again in your awareness without effort. You try to dismiss it, you call it coincidence, but the pattern continues. Then there are the waves of feeling that come from nowhere, a sudden calm, a sudden ache, a warmth in the chest, a strange sadness with no visible cause. Later, something happens that makes those feelings make sense, and you realize you may have been sensing more than your own mood. These moments matter because deep bonds often speak through rhythm before they speak through action. You may also have felt it in dreams, where the connection seems vivid, gentle, and strangely real, as if a conversation happened beyond the noise of daily life. You wake with their energy still around you. You remember their presence more than the details. Do not ignore how powerful that can feel. Dreams, repeated inner nudges, emotional echoes, long silences that somehow still feel full, these are part of the language of deep connection. The mind wants signed proof. The soul notices patterns, and if you have been living inside these quiet confirmations, then maybe the message has not been absent at all. Maybe it has simply been arriving in a softer form than you expected. Another sign is the effect you have on them, even when they try to hide it. A person who feels nothing does not become inwardly unsettled by your presence. They do not linger in your energy. They do not carry that strange mix of softness and restraint. They do not look as if they want to say more than they allow themselves to say, but someone who feels deeply may reveal it in fragments, in the pause before they answer, in the way their eyes search your face, in the way they act normal while their energy says otherwise, in the strange seriousness that comes over simple moments, in how they seem affected after even brief contact. Sometimes love does not arrive first as a speech. Sometimes it arrives as a tension between what is felt and what is safe to express. This is why mixed signals can be confusing. You are sensing the truth underneath behavior that is not fully ready yet. And yes, that can make you doubt yourself. But remember this, confusion often grows when the heart detects something real and the outer world does not know how to carry it yet. That does not mean you should surrender your whole life to waiting. It means you should honor what you feel without letting fear rule the story. There is a difference, a big one. You can recognize the bond and still choose self-respect. You can feel the connection and still protect your peace. You can believe something meaningful exists here and still refuse to collapse into anxiety. In fact, that balance may be exactly what this love has been trying to teach you from the beginning. So what are you being asked to do now? Not to force answers, not to decode every silence until you are exhausted, not to turn every sign into a deadline. You are being asked to become steady, to choose trust over constant inner warfare, to stop feeding doubt as if it were wisdom. Because doubt is not always intelligence. Sometimes doubt is just fear in a clever voice. And every time you let that fear dominate the connection, it blocks the natural flow of what is trying to unfold. This is why your next step is inward, not outward. Come back to your body, come back to your breath, come back to your life. Build your days around peace again. Let your worth stop depending on one message, one call, one reaction, one uncertain moment. The stronger you become in yourself, the clearer everything gets. The panic drops. The signs become easier to read. The bond stops feeling like a storm and starts feeling like a quiet truth you can hold without losing yourself. This is where the shift happens, not when they finally say the perfect words, but when you stop abandoning yourself in order to feel close to them. That is the doorway, and once you step through it, the whole energy changes. Listen closely now, because the love you want is not asking you to become smaller, more desperate, more doubtful, or more afraid. It is asking you to become fuller, calmer, more grounded, and more open to receive without force. As you keep choosing your own light, something else begins to happen. The connection stops being ruled by need and starts being shaped by truth. The false layers burn away, the old patterns weaken. The fear that once rushed through you every time they went quiet begins to lose its hold. You no longer read every pause as an ending. You no longer let the worst story in your mind become your only story. And that inner shift is powerful because deep bonds respond to energy more than performance. When you stop pushing, space becomes safe. When you stop gripping, what is real has room to breathe. If this person truly carries love for you, then your peace will call out to the part of them that has also been searching for safety, truth, and courage. Not through pressure, not through drama, through alignment, through the quiet strength of a heart that has remembered its own value. This is the part many people do not understand. Reunion, closeness, honest return, these things are not built well on panic. They are built on clarity, they are built on healing, they are built on two people becoming more honest with themselves than they have ever been before. So if the path has felt slow, do not assume nothing is happening. Some of the deepest work happens in stillness. Some of the strongest love grows underground before it appears in the light. And if you have made it this far, then maybe your role now is not to chase the outcome, but to become ready for the kind of love that does not disappear. The second fear shows up. Trust this. The time apart, the confusion, the repeated inner lessons, all of it may be shaping something stronger than what you first imagined. You are not being asked to live in fantasy. You are being asked to hold a deeper truth without betraying yourself. That is mature love. That is spiritual strength. To say, I feel this connection, and I will honor it, but I will not destroy my peace trying to control it. I will not call fear devotion. I will not call anxiety intuition. I will not shrink my worth because another person is still learning how to carry what they feel. That choice changes everything. Because the moment you stop begging life to prove your value, you become magnetic in a different way. Whole, clear, open, strong. And if this bond is truly meant to grow into something lasting, then that is the version of you who will meet it best. Not the fearful version, not the exhausted version, the healed version. The steady version. The version who can receive love and not tremble at every shadow. Let this sink in. What is real does not need endless forcing. What is real asks for honesty, patience, and inner alignment. So if you still feel them, if the bond still lives quietly in your chest, if life keeps whispering their presence in small but meaningful ways, then do not mock your own heart. Do not rush the process. Let the truth breathe. Let peace lead, and let what is meant for you find you in a way that no fear can undo. And now, before this message ends, hold this final thought close. The sign you have been searching for may not be one big, dramatic event. It may be the fact that after all the distance, all the silence, all the arguments inside your own mind, the feeling still remains, but it is changing you into someone wiser rather than breaking you into someone smaller. That is not nothing. That is a real sign. A bond that only creates obsession empties you, but a bond that calls you back to your own soul, teaches you patience, awakens old wounds so they can heal, and keeps guiding you toward deeper self-worth carries a different kind of truth. So choose trust today. Choose calm today. Choose to stop calling every sacred thing coincidence just because it arrived softly. If this spoke to your heart, stay with that feeling. Let it settle. Let it teach you. And from this moment on, instead of asking again and again whether this person cares, ask a stronger question. How can I stand so fully in my own light that love finds me without confusion, meets me without fear, and stays because I no longer abandon myself to receive it? That is where everything begins to change. That is where doubt loosens. That is where clarity enters. And that is where a connection that once felt painful, mysterious, and out of reach can slowly become honest, grounded, and real. If you felt this in your chest, then you already know. Something true has been speaking to you. Now the only thing left is to trust it.